Hey everybody, Sister Colton here. You have survived the first week and are ready to start lesson 2. This is going to be a longer video than I usually do, but I just wanted to walk through this week's assignments with you in a little more detail than I did on my introductory video. So one place I like to go from the home page is content. And this is where you'll see, if I click on lesson 2, it will have these kind of folders under lesson 2. But getting started, it's a good place to have, if you click preview, and you'll see the trail up here. It was in lesson 2, getting started, preview. This just walks through the outcomes, the goals for this week. So this week we're going to work on applying the process and the principles of the BYU Learning Model, BYU Idaho Learning Model. Work on making questions and answering them when we're reading or when we're talking in a conversation. And then practice using the skill of asking and answering questions. Then you'll just look through here at some of the explanations of the mission statement for BYU Idaho. And then this is a schedule, kind of as a at a glance schedule for the week on assignments. So things that are due Wednesday at 11 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. So check to make sure you know what time that is when it's 11 p.m. here in Utah, or Mountain Standard Time. Here are the things that are due Wednesday. You attend your gathering and mark that you attended. And then here are all the things that are due Saturday nights at 11 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. So I'll walk through those by going back. If I click back to getting started, actually I'll go back to lesson 2 folder. And so here we did the getting started, the pre-gathering. Here's all the assignments due before Wednesday night. The listening speaking log, that is something that is new this week. You didn't do it last week. And so when I click on there, it'll walk you through what you need to do. So that if you'll read the directions, they're very helpful. And there's a video on how to fill out a template and then upload it into the assignment spot. And a couple of you, it looks like you created your own template or just answered the questions. So if you will actually download the template and type right into it and upload that will be helpful to have all of us following the same template. What you do is you need to practice your listening and speaking for 2 hours a week. And so that ends up being, and it needs to be five days a week. And you'll practice or track it. And you need to make sure, if you decide you're intermediate, that means you're a beginner with English, you're not as advanced, you can pick from these 8. If you feel like you have a pretty good foundation of English and just need to learn a little more, you can pick from these ones. But you pick any 5. It doesn't say not to do the same one, but I would discourage you from picking, always doing a listening activity for all 5 days of the week. First of all, you'll get sick of it or bored, and you'll always be working on listening and not speaking. So try to do some activities that help your listening skills and some that help your speaking, so you can practice talking. And so there's where you'll pick from. When I click download this template, it will automatically save to your computer. So I will just open it back up and type right in there. So you don't need to type up your own template. If it's, let's see, yeah, we'll just pick a date. Then you'll say it's week 2, day 1. So on Monday, if you want to have this template that you continue to add to, Monday you did an activity. Maybe it was activity number 2. What did you do? Sit and type what you did. What did you learn? What insights did you learn? Something new, a new term, a new word. So like here it says, though, you need to write at least 2 to 3 sentences. So you need to have at least 2 sentences. So don't just write Like there it says you can write vocabulary words that you learned, but it doesn't mean you just sit and list vocabulary words. Like I learned show and try and hard. I don't want to just see a list of words because that's not 2 to 3 sentences. So you could say, oops, I learned how to answer when somebody asks me how I am doing. This will be helpful for our gathering this week. So you'll do that. You could save it, and on Tuesday do an activities and record it. And then by Friday, you're ready to have it. It's all saved. And then you would go to the next page. It says continue to add to your document throughout the week, and then you will submit it at the end of this lesson. So you would go into the next page to make sure you can upload that template. Okay, so there's your listening and speaking. Remember, we want to work on both of those skills. We'll go back to the pre-gathering. Like I said, it's a long video. I'm just going to kind of walk through. We have topic introduction and listening practice. Here are the directions. So you click here to read about the assignment. You click here to actually do the assignment. Okay. Then you have your discussion board. You need to make sure by Wednesday night you've put your initial post, your response to those prompts. So you click there. Tells you the directions. You can pick, like it says, after learning, choose one prompt. So there are 4 things here. Just pick one of those that you want to respond to or talk about on your post in the discussion board. And remember, I'm going to take a second now to show you the discussion boards. Make sure that you know you have questions and conversations. That's not where you post your responses to that week's prompts. This is where you go, and it explains it right here if you have questions. If you just have a question you want to put out there, and Sister Colton, myself, can answer that, or any of you that know the answer can jump on. This is also where you'll go to share how your gathering went. That's not where you'll go, and it doesn't count on the discussion assignment to make sure you have your initial post to those prompts, one of those prompts, and 3 responses to peers. That happens here. Next week it'll be lesson 2, right here. Welcome to BYU, Idaho. You'll read those prompts, go back on the content page, and pick one that you're going to respond to in your post. Okay, so you have study skill. You always have a skill you work on. And this week it's asking and answering questions. Here's the directions on what this assignment has to do with. And that's where you actually do the assignment. Same with reading, writing practice. There's the directions, there's the actual assignment and quiz. Okay. Scripture study directions, and then where you actually do the assignment. Learn a hymn directions and learn a hymn. Those are the things due Wednesday night. Then I'll scroll back up so I can click on the gathering. It tells you how to prepare for the gathering, make sure you attend it. It directions on how to mark that you attended, and then here where the question mark is, so you actually click to go in and mark. Yes, I attended, or no, I did not. It was canceled, maybe. Then we have the post gathering. It's a lot, I know. Remember, it's a 5-credit class, so that's why there's so many assignments that it's going to take a lot of your time each week. Remember to respond to at least 3 peers by Saturday night. You have an application activity, and this is one there are some assignments are automatically graded, some quizzes, the computer grades. Some things I go in and grade, and application activity is one of those. It's kind of it usually is a pretty big assignment, so I would start that earlier, not Saturday night. Read the directions, do the assignment. I'm going to actually go into the directions really quickly, try to wrap up this video. It's long. Okay, you're going to watch this video, reflect about it, okay? Read the summary. There are 5 principles in the learning model, so you'll read the summary of those 5 principles. Decide pick one principle that you need to apply. Maybe you're good with all of them, but there's one You do sometimes, but you could work on more. And then you're going to choose a short-term goal that will help you reach that principle. And it has suggested goals from the summary, or you can do your own. And it has some things for you to consider. And then you have a template that you download. Right, we always look at the directions, because this is how I grade. I make sure you have at least 2 sentences. You can have 2 to 3 to answer each of the questions, these 5 questions that you'll find on the template when you download it. After you answer those questions and type them into the template, you save it and upload it. And this video shows how to do that. Okay, so that is the application activity. Those are the directions. You'll click on the little question mark next to application activity to actually submit that template. Show you. Sorry. Oh, sorry, it's not a question mark. It's a turn-in box, like a box you would turn your papers in if we were in a classroom. You have your vocabulary list of new words for the week, your directions for the vocabulary quiz, and the quiz is broken into 2 parts. Part number 1 that says writing, you have to take that word and write it in a sentence. So if the word is strong, my sentence might be, the wind was very strong last night. I don't just write the word strong and say something that is not weak, something that has a lot of strength. I don't write the definition, I'm writing a sentence that has that vocabulary word in it. So that's for the writing one. Then you have a quiz you take. And this is one where you don't use outside sources. You don't use dictionaries to help you with. It will tell you that in the directions. Okay? Here's where you'll submit your log, because it takes all week, because you have to have 5 days. Your learning report will just be a place for you to, there's the directions and then where you actually submit it, for you to ask about that week and for you to report your learning for the week. And that is all. We finally got through it all. 12 minutes. I try to keep these under 10 minutes usually. I hope that was helpful for you to see what the assignments are and what the difference is between the directions and the actual assignment. Send any questions you have to me through email. I am happy to help, and I want to help all that I can. So I hope you have a great second week. We are, I'm sorry, my computer just is full. We are embarking on the second week, and I'm proud of you. I know the first few weeks are stressful. It's a lot to take on, and it can feel overwhelming. But I know as you just work, take the first chunk of things that are due before Wednesday night, work on those, and then tackle the others. Work on the things all week long that are due, like the listening speaking log. Make sure you're working on that all week long, so you don't get to Saturday and realize, oops, I've only done 1 day of activities. Okay, have a great week. I hope to hear from you and learn more from you. Bye, you guys.